human beings share the universal emotions. So no matter what our cultural backgrounds are, we can always find our common ground. That's the part that makes me very happy.
This is Greenlights Ground Truths, ContentAsia's conversations with Asia's creators. We're talking today about Into the Mortal World, a Chinese animated film that reimagines mythology through a very human story. It takes us from the celestial realm into the mortal world, where questions of fate, identity, and choice suddenly become a lot more complicated. The film, which is backed by Wincing Animation, screens this week at the 26th MONSTRA Lisbon Animation Festival, and then again later this month at the 2026 Wellington Animation and Film Festival. My guest today is the film's director, Ding Zhong, who is also professor from Guangzhou Academy of Fine Arts. We'll be talking about the film, obviously, but also about using AI, his storytelling priorities, and balancing domestic audience focus with international ambitions. Ahead of this conversation, I dug into some of the reviews into the film. Here's one from IMDb from the 2025 Annecy Festival. So the reviewer says, "This is the best movie I watched at the festival. Absolutely loved it. The VFX team did an amazing job." Then he talks about the characters, who he calls really endearing. And then another one, "This is the best Chinese animated work I've seen in recent years. It has a complete story, captivating plot, and the visuals are very beautiful and very Eastern. The beginning makes you laugh, the end makes you cry. It's a touching story about familial love and sibling bonds, truly moving." And now my conversation with Into the Mortal World director, Ding Zhong. Ding, welcome to the podcast. Thanks
Thank
very
you.
much for joining me. We're going to be talking about Into the Mortal World, which has now been seen by audiences in multiple markets. So, what reactions or interpretations would you say have surprised you the most?
Well, what surprised me most, I think, is the emotional connection across the cultural differences. Yeah, actually, before the overseas screening, I had already expected that could be some, let's say, cultural barrier or cultural gaps. So I was a little bit worried about that. The cultural difference might affect the audience to understand the whole story. But the feedback really surprised me. Actually, they fully felt the emotion in the film, which is the most important part of the work, I think. Some viewers said that they cried 2 or 3 times during the whole film, and they were deeply touched by the family love and the bond between the brothers and the sisters. So that made me happy because it shows that the human beings share the universal emotions. So no matter what our cultural backgrounds are, we can always find our common ground. That's the part that makes me very happy.
And was it very surprising?
The very surprising is that they actually cheer a lot because I've seen the Annecy screening online. Actually, I didn't go there,
Oh, yeah.
unfortunately. Yeah, but I think they cheer a lot. So it's never happened in China actually. The, because in China people are a little bit settled down, so they never cheer after watching the film. But after that festival showing, everyone is quite applaud and cheering. So I think it's kind of a successful. I wish I would be there actually.
I was
Yeah.
about to say, don't you wish you had gone?
Yeah.
Um, what did the film teach you about how international audiences respond to stories rooted in Chinese mythology?
Mm, I think the cultural differences do exist actually. Yeah, I can feel that. If we want international audience to accept our animated film rooted in Chinese Chinese myth, the first thing, as I mentioned, is to touch the audience with emotion. And that's the more important thing. We can already see many successful examples, actually. For example, the Disney Pixar Coco, for
Yeah.
instance, is deeply rooted in Mexican culture. But as a Chinese audience, I never get confused because I will be touched by the deep emotion. Yeah. Yes. No matter what kind of subject we present, and the most important thing is always the inner core of the characters and and the emotions that the audience can feel. So so it comes to cultural difference, we may need to make some international adaptations also. Yeah, we should express things in the way they can understand or through similar experience in their own culture. It will make it easier for them to understand the details, I think. Yeah.
So I'm what I'm hearing you say that audiences around the world have a lot more in common than we do
Yeah.
uh, difference.
Yeah. I mean, first part, I think the most important things is to make the foreign audience to understand is we need to stick to the core of the film, which is the emotion and the characters and the story. But we also have to, if we want to make something international, we have to do some adaptations to change or maybe translation some part of our film that the foreign audience can understand. You cannot go too deep or too strange to those audience, let's say, never know this culture before.
So into the mortal world, what was your priority? Was it the international angle or was it a
Of course.
local hit?
Of course. To be honest, we aim the local market. That's the most Chinese film industry aim now. I think is we just started to go abroad, go overseas. So what we are concentrate on is local culture. We want to finding some quite familiar, let's say familiar story that the Chinese audience knows. Yeah. So actually, it's a challenge if we actually showing our film overseas.
Did you make any adjustments to the overseas version?
Actually, it's just English subtitle. We yeah, we do a little bit test before the film go overseas. We actually invite several international audience who lived in Guangzhou. Yeah, who are living in Guangzhou, and invite them to watch the film with the English subtitles and to check the result and make some modification.
What modifications did you make?
And the girl name is Funny. Funny. We actually is a in China in Chinese is Xiao Fan. So we changed the name into Funny. It's more suits for the English, English understanding. Yeah.
Have there been any major differences in the reception of the film between Chinese and international audiences? Because I'm aware that you don't have full international distribution yet, that's still coming. But so far at festivals, has there been a big difference in the reception between local audiences and international audiences?
Not that much difference actually. Some comedy part, some comedy part is quite local. I think foreign audience cannot understand fully. Take that for example. We've got a hot pot in our film. The hot pot. So hot pot is quite spicy, but I think not every foreign audience ever tried hot pot before. I don't know. So when that part comes out, probably less people laughed. Yeah, that's the different reaction, I think. Yeah.
I want to move on to Chinese animation in a broader context. So there's been obviously some major international hits in recent years. And
Yeah.
where do you think Into the Mortal World sits in the current wave of Chinese animated features going global?
Ah, one thing for sure, we are definitely not leaders. We're just the followers, I think. Through, excuse me, through the whole process, we focused most on learning. I think it's a process of learning and testing. Yeah. So at the beginning, we didn't think much about the overseas, to be honest. But after the film was complete and received good viewers in China, so Winston, the company, the parent company, yeah, which is it has an excellent foundation and a rich experience in overseas distribution. The company has a very well-known brand called GG Bond in China,
Yeah.
and they export this brand for many years already. So it has very big market overseas. So they use this kind of experience to try to export this film and release it internationally. So I think it's really a rare opportunity. And it's also a promising start for us. Yeah, and we hope to have more chances to experience and create in the future, probably based on the experience we have gained from this project.
So looking back now after the release, it was released domestically about 2 years ago. So, and then it has done the film festival circuit. And then, as I said, it's going on the international circuit coming soon. Is there anything in the film you might have approached differently today, either creatively or technically?
That's a good question because I've been thinking this over and over again. But to be honest, the result of this film is always, let's say, I think it's kind of a success already for me. Let's say because every film is a compromised result because we have a limited budget, we have a limited time and limited capabilities. So my first goal as my first film, I'm a rookie in this industry, is to complete this film. In this kind of a perspective, I think the film is quite successful for me. Yeah, but if you ask me if there were anything I can improve if I got a chance to do it again, I would say everything, everything. And but of course, one thing I think is I need to probably I got a more experience to do it is the art style of this film because at the beginning there was a little story I can share. At the beginning, we had a kind of unrealistic expectation for this for the art part of this film. So we have do many unrealistic illusion and the testing actually is waste a lot of time because it's a let's say it's an industry project. It's not a pure artwork. You have to follow the time schedule. So we actually waste a lot of the time to experiment on art, but actually we have to fall into the realistic position. So we have to do a lot of compromise. But the time has been wasted. So if I got a chance to do it over again, I could maybe I will use the most let's say a safe way to explore the art part. Yeah, make this more commercial and make it more accessible for everyone. Yeah, so that's kind of experience I can get. Or let's say probably we can start to explore earlier, before it's too late.
Do you think the film shaped the direction of Winsing's animation strategy?
I think, first of all, Into the Motor World actually is the first film that this company try to make for, let's say, grown-ups or young people. GG Bond, this brand is more focused on the children. Yeah. So that's the first, let's say, that's the first trying for them, and I think it's a good start. It's a good start, and for international direction, well, I think they have already got a very good experience in overseas distribution. So probably it's also giving them a chance to actually try to export more film for adults or grown-ups to the overseas audiences. Yeah. That's
How do you think about your next project?
That depends. That depends. Which perspective I would choose. I mean, if I still making some film for domestic market, I will. I think I will think about more about the market first. For the audiences, I don't know. It's a little bit complicated because it's some let's say cultural background issue. because in China, we have got very famous mythological characters. Yeah, like Wukong. Yeah, so more and more film industry or film company try to make the story about him, because that's much more easier to make the the audience to understand and accept. But for our story, we used Weaver Girl and Cowherd, which is quite famous actually, but it's not as famous as Wukong. And then we talk about the story of of these two people. Talk about the children of these two characters. So it's quite strange to. It's not that familiar to the audience. So probably it will make some let's say marketing issue for a marketing challenge, let's say, for the audience. So if I got chance to make a movie again, I probably will think about this perspective carefully. Yeah, to choose the topic carefully. At least I need the audience to understand, to know about this topic or know about this character more familiar. Yeah, that's what I have to think about. But in another perspective, if I got a chance to make a film internationally, I think I have more freedom. Maybe, yeah, I can make some even not just a Chinese background story. I can make some science fiction movie, science fiction topic. I think that's probably will have more options, more choices. Yeah, so that depends.
What are you working on right now?
Secret. I'm working on a secret project. I still work with Winston. I think is a quite interesting film, and another thing is we will use let's say AI as a tool to actually to reduce the cost and make it faster, let's say. Yeah, but still we will emphasize the story and the art part. The AI is just a tool.
I'm interested in AI, and I think this is a
Yeah.
good place to ask the question about what do you think of AI and how are you using it in your project? Do you see it as a threat, as a friend? How is it
Mm.
being integrated into what you do?
That's a quite interesting discussion, I think. Because we discuss a lot. you know, uh, I think if let's say for IP, for any IP, I mean you have already got the copyright. Like let's say you have already made a story or have a very successful character, like funny in our in our film. But if you use AI to produce this character directly, probably you will have some let's say um, problem from the fans. They probably won't allow you to do that. Mm. But if you use it as a tool to actually to lower the cost or help you to make make the production faster, I think that will be okay. But I'm not sure actually. So what I'm going to say is that um, it's kind of a risk if you use AI in an existing IP. Yeah, it's kind of a risk. You have to consider about the reaction and feedback from the fans. It's kind of dangerous and quite hard to say. Let's say. So, but for the original one, for me, I think I don't really care about what kind of tool I've used to to tell the story, to show the character, to build their lives. I personally don't care if I am I were a audience. Yeah, I what I'm focused on is in emotion, is the story, is their connections, you know. But yeah, so I think whether you like or not, you have to use it. You have to use it. Probably you have heard the C Dance 2.0, right? is a huge change to the film industry. I've seen a lot of examples already. That the image that made by Cdance 2.0, sometimes you cannot tell it is real person, real people, or just AI produced. So it kind of offers us a lot of chances, or probably is a way of make your dream come true, because a lot of talented people don't have that budget. Even us, to make an animation film is a huge project that costs a lot of money. So with Cdance, with AI, if we can just we can if we can produce this with AI with a quite low budget, like 1 of 10, yeah, why not? Why not? Because I kind of hope every audience or focus on the story itself. Yeah, we don't need to talk about what kind of software and what kind of technology we have to use. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. Yeah.
Um, if we're talking about the priority being the story, what kind of stories do you think Chinese animators and Chinese filmmakers should be telling if they want to continue to expand globally?
I'm a rookie actually, so I don't have a lot of experience on it. What I believe is that first of all, I think we have to move audience. We have to understand what is international audience think about. So I think everyone is quite obsessed with those with some magic, with some scientific stuff. Yeah, that's the charm part of the animation film. So that's the first choice. And also, I also think the culture still is the most attractive part of any film. Yeah, that's the audience want to see. Probably we'll choose something everyone can understand and everyone can be moved. Yeah, the topic. So I won't care about too much about the what kind of a culture I want. I don't want to teach anyone anything. Just I want to share some common sense and common emotion. Yeah. I just got something to share is that one thing is quite interesting and special for this project is Into the Motor World actually is developed from based on a student's final project. Actually, I think it's the first film in China that produced from the student's final project. That's the cooperation with GAFA. I'm a teacher in GAFA, Guangzhou Academy of Fine Arts. Yeah, and a cooperation between the school and Winston. We cooperate with each other and produced a short film of this topic. And then a lot of people saw on the internet and they love it. So we got a chance to make it into a big movie. So that's something special I want to share.
Well, thank you very,
Thank you.
very much, and best of luck
Thank you.
with the international rollout of the film. And
Thank you.
yeah, look forward to meeting you again.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank
And
you.